What's up, guys? Welcome to a nerd-filled blog slash commentary. This is kind of new for me. Yeah. So I know I've been uploading a little bit more than usual, but I've been in law school, so that's why I've been able to upload super recently. But I'm in my last year, so I'm hoping to upload a little bit more while get a little bit more free time as I finish my years. Um, but today I wanted to talk to you about the real problem that is in Magic the Gathering, um, at least the paper format. Um, so a lot of people, right, and a lot of YouTubers have been complaining about the new Secret Lair that dropped, right, the Walking Dead collaboration. And I don't want to say that the community is toxic or anything, but it's pretty tense. Right? There's a lot of negative emotions. There's a lot of anger. There's a lot of a sense of betrayal, if you will, that's being conveyed, and rightly so. Right? Secret Lair was they introduced it as something that wasn't going to affect other formats. That was something more for people who were interested, who had the flex, right? Because it's $50 for like 5 cards. So, most people by logical standards would think that's really not worth it. That's half a draft booster box. You know, I'd rather wait on that. And now we got this whole issue of like, oh, it is going to affect certain formats. It's going to be a limited run. Probably never going to get our hands on this ever again, kind of thing, unless like it does super well. Um, and a lot of people are angry about that. But I honestly don't think that's the real issue, right? Because for casual players like myself, right, uh, we don't really care about like the flex as much, right? We don't really care about whether you have, this super cool, like alternate art version of a card. We might like notice it and be like, "Wow, that's super cool! Like that's dope," uh, and then move along. That's it, right? That's it. That's the end of the story. Um, but there's this sense that the whole community is feeling, right? That the game itself is somehow letting them down. And that has to go more than the secret layer. There has to be a little bit more than just, ooh, this special type of product that only certain people really, really want to get. Because here's the thing, like I've read the Walking Dead comics. I've watched a couple seasons. I got pretty bored after Negan's run, but that's also how I felt in the comics. I felt like after the Negan arc, it just kind of went whatever. Um, but even then, like I was like, I don't really have this burning desire to get the secret layer, right? And that's because casual players are usually on a budget, right? When we make decks, um, for standard, we're probably not spending more than $100, right? And the thing we also are cautious of is this standard deck going to be transferable to modern in any sort of way, right? Can I play this deck in modern when it rotates out? Kind of depends, right? I have got this mono green aggro deck that I played back when Kaladesh and Dominaria was back. The whole Land War of Steel Leaf champion combo. Love that. Never gonna get old. Never gonna get sick of that. And it's still like pretty good in modern. Like a 5/4 turn two, yeah, that can't be blocked by certain creatures. Like that's still pretty good in modern. Um, that's kind of what we're looking for, right? We're not looking to like win all the time. We're looking to be competitive in a certain sense. Like, hey, like I have a shot against this deck that everybody's playing against. But here's the thing: the real issue that exists in the game right now is that the rares that are being printed are worthless, right? Even some of the mythics really are pretty bad. And I think Zendikar Rising is a perfect example. And I think that's such a letdown because I know people who played back in the original Zendikar were really looking forward to this set. And it didn't really feel like it lived up to the hype, right? I came into Kaladesh, so I can't speak on that, but I have a couple friends who were super excited. They're like, wow, yeah, like this was such a great, great format. Like the lore was great, the cards were great, it was a lot of fun. I don't feel like I'm getting that hype. They don't have this excitement. and it has nothing to do with like the lack of Eldrazi. As cool as those cards were, it's just really how lackluster this entire set was. So here's the thing: casual players, right? We spend usually less than $100 on building our decks, right, for standard, and we're looking to see, can this ever see the daylight in modern? With Zendikar Rising and the whole Omnath deck, even with the Uroban, right? The Omnath decks are just steamrolling, right? Um, and there's talk about if they're going to ban Omnath. I don't think they will, just because it's just such a new card, and they want to make sure that something is worth the value. I don't know if banning Omnath would make other decks on the rise or increase, but I don't think they're going to ban Omnath anytime soon, which is kind of a bummer, but that's what it is. So, if we look at the rares and mythics in Zendikar Rising, they're garbage. There's no other way to say it, right? I know the professor and the Asian Avenger recently talked about this, the state of standard failing. It's not just like the Earl Omnath problem, right? Because that was a thing back in like standard, back in the day, back when the whole Nexus of Fade and Control and Mono Red was kind of taking over. You could still make homebrew decks that stood a chance. My Mono Green deck, I was almost qualified for regionals in like the tournament, and I was facing against like the Golgari mid range decks back in the day, and people were like, "What the heck? This is not like a thing," and I'm like, "Oh, it's a thing. Like it is a thing. It's just it's just not what you expected." And I had fun, and people had fun, right? They thought it was cool, kind of losing to this deck that that I just kind of made up, like just synergies I thought of. And those were with just rares that were like most under $5. The most I've ever spent was like on Carnage Sirens, but I bought them when they were like $15 a piece, back at their lowest. Um, and I traded for some of them. So the real problem, again, is that these rares and these mythics are basically unplayable because they're just straight up garbage. They just suck. They don't have any value even to like a monocolored deck. Um, Let me give you an example of rares that you probably never even heard of. Now that even though this has been out for a couple of weeks, Squad Commander. What the heck? Like, who's gonna build a full party deck? Like, even in Commander, like I know Game Nights did an episode on this, but like even then, like that deck lost, and that deck had like card advantage. The deck was trying to, gain life, all this stuff, and it still lost. Nimble Trap Finder, again, full party deck. And you think about this in terms of limited. You can't ever really build a full party deck in limited in certain colors, right? They're just too hard, right? And if you're going 3 color, you're already kind of behind limited. That's kind of the general rule of thumb. Let me give you other rares. Master of Winds, like, okay. I don't even see Izzet decks using this. Coveted Price, another party deck. Corahelm Chronicler. I feel like Corahelm Chronicler is like best and uncommon. Like I honestly don't see why this card is printed as rare. Like it's ridiculous, right? And even the Planeswalkers, right? Like I saw Jace used for like maybe a week in Arena before he disappeared. Never saw Nahiri, probably just a strictly a commander card. And the new Nissa, which really bummed me out because I'm like a huge Nissa fan. Like I'm always a green player. Like even the new Nissa is kind of like whatever. Like War of the Sparks, rare Nissa was way better. Uh, so yeah, I think that's where the real problem is. Casual players are not given the opportunity to brew decks that have a chance. We're not looking. Here's the thing: casual players are not looking to like win every game. We're just looking to have fun. We're looking to have interactions, and we're looking to still be competitive, right? But we want to do it our way. And with the whole Zendikar Rising set, we didn't get that chance. Like, I I would love to see some of your homebrews and see how you're doing in arena and tell me like this card's great in arena. This deck's great in arena. Like go for it, go for it. Um, but right now I'm not seeing it, and I feel like until Wizards like understands like how to value cards, how to make sure that rares are actually rares, casual players are going to keep slipping away. And go straight into only commander. Um, which it's a fun format, but some of us want to play other formats too. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the real problem that exists in the game right now. Um, Let me know about your thoughts, your comments, what you think about the new set that just came out. What do you think about Secret Lair? And what do you think about the situation that is Magic the Gathering? I'll see you guys in a next video. Hopefully, be opening a little bit more on Zendikar Rising, and hopefully showing you why you shouldn't buy boxes for Zendikar Rising. So that's all I got for today. Hope to see you guys soon.